All right, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, August 16th, 2021, and I am your host, Kim Matina, and I am so happy to have on the Sweet Talk today, Mr. Pawan Uberoy, sorry, and he is the founder of Whiteboard.chat, and I'm so happy to have you on. Thank you for taking the time to be on the show today, Pawan.
Thank you, Kim, for the invitation. I'm so glad to be here.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got Whiteboard.chat going.
Sure. So, I'm a computer engineer by trade. I live in California for over 20 years. I've worked in various different startups. Um, Whiteboard.chat was an accident from our perspective. So,
That's so funny.
so we were building another product for enterprises, for companies, and what happened was the pandemic hit. So we took parts of what we were building and we created Whiteboard.chat specifically for our kids because we saw them struggling with remote learning and they were having trouble navigating. The teachers were having trouble watching what the kids were doing, and the kids were not engaging really. So we created Whiteboard.chat for them. And since then, it was just took over by teachers from around the world, right? So it just went viral by itself. People started talking about it on social media. We got a lot of help from a lot of our initial ambassadors. And then teachers would tell us what to do, and we would just sit back and do what, and listen to teachers and do what they were saying, right? And that's how it was created.
That's so funny. I just quoted you. Whiteboard.chat was an accident. I think that's hysterical because you don't realize like how powerful it really was during the pandemic, right? Like,
That's right.
so that's why I just thought that was so funny that you said that. But it's so funny because I think what we were chatting before we went live was like you have kids, elementary school kids, and you were able to relate to maybe what they were going through as a parent dealing with the pandemic and the shutdown, and then like their teachers struggling. So I really find that to be really in the tool. Like you really did listen to what you were going through and teacher feedback, and you really did put it into your tool. Like your tool is amazing. And when I learned about it, I was blown away. I couldn't believe all of the features that you really have in here that really are valuable, So I really appreciate your hard work, your dedication to the tool and listening to everybody, because I think that made it more, powerful, you know what I mean? And people were really, I know people in my circle were using it. So I just want to thank you for doing that and continuing the hard work and adapting to the changes and updating it accordingly.
Yeah, you're welcome. I wanted to thank all the teachers too, right? They are the ones, they nurtured the tool, they helped us. It's so amazing working in the education industry. This is all new for me, right? But I think it's amazing the amount of help. And even kids, right? Even kids would ask us for features. It is so amazing to have a kid request something. Hey, can you add a way for me to create my own custom border around the whiteboard? And then imagine that kid comes in the next day morning and they can show their peers, look, now you can do this. I designed this, right? So it's such a good feeling from that
Yeah,
perspective.
isn't it different than like big business? Like,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah, you were on the total opposite end. Now you're in the education, part of it, dealing with educators and students, and it's probably a lot different than what you're used to. So funny.
It totally is, right? And but the thing is that this is the future of the world, right? And the educators and the kids are the future of the world, right? And we are focusing on the wrong thing from my perspective now. It's my company was called Epiphany. It's an epiphany for me, really. This world.
Well, I'm glad to have you on our side.
Thank you.
So why don't you, like, people use, like I just wrote a book about Jamboard, Google's digital whiteboarding tool. And, Whiteboard.chat just takes it to a next level. It really takes the collaboration and all of the things that you can do it through Whiteboard.chat, like the manipulatives and collaboration in real time, and timers and everything. Like, it just takes it to the next level. So I want you to really showcase, this is your platform tonight. I want you to be able to showcase Whiteboard.chat, show off the bells and whistles that I just mentioned, and convince other people to get on board with Whiteboard.chat. Now, it may not be for everybody, and that's okay, because some people get overwhelmed and prefer different tools, and that's fine. But I'm a Google girl, so I'm gonna lean toward Jamboard, but it's not always, um, different tools have different targets and different needs. And I really think Whiteboard.chat, sorry, my phone's ringing. I think Whiteboard.chat targets so much more, and can be so much of value.
Sure. So I'll start by sharing my screen. I think that will be a good introduction to most of the features.
Oh, Pawan, we just have a comment here from Stella, and she says, greetings from Argentina. Whiteboard.chat developers are improving the platform permanently by listening to teachers and making all necessary changes. And that's exactly what he was just saying. So thank you for that comment.
Thank you, Stella. All right. So I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
But okay, there you go. Okay, so there are two modes that Whiteboard works in. One is the teaching mode, which we'll primarily talk about today. There's also a collaborating mode, which is more like Jamboard or any other whiteboard that allows people to talk to each other on the same board, but has less of teacher controls. There's a group board setting in teaching mode as well, which I'll try to show if you have time. So you hit that, you're in the whiteboard, right? You can start using it immediately, right?
I love the tour tutorial too.
Right, there is a tour tutorial as well. So if you want to go through that, so the basic stuff, I don't know why the ads are showing up for me, but okay, never mind. So let me, yeah. So the basic stuff essentially. Oh, maybe I'm logged into the wrong account. Yeah, that's right. So let me try that again. So you can log in through Google, Facebook, any of the other methods, but then you start teaching. You go to a whiteboard. This is a tour that starts. If you're starting for the first time, you can actually go through the tour. It'll guide you through all the features of the platform. But as a teacher, what most teachers use it as is that they upload content. You can upload content from your Google Drive, from your computer. You can play bingo on the whiteboard as well. You can do upload live worksheets as well onto the board. But the easiest way most teachers use is they put a PDF on the board, right? So if you have a multi-page PDF, for example, this thing has 3 pages. What Whiteboard.chat will do is for each page in the PDF, it will create a page in Whiteboard.chat. So right, I have 3 pages. I got 3 pages in my Whiteboard.chat. As a teacher, of course, you can do everything in the world. You can draw on it. You can type directly on it. I'll show you some of the more advanced features as we go along. Right? But you can start annotating on the whiteboard. And then you can invite your students. So you hit this invite button on the top right. You can either invite them directly into Google Classroom or with Microsoft Teams, or you can actually just copy this link up here, and share it with them in any which way through a different LMS. So what I'm opening is another tab, which will act as a student. So when the students join, they'll be asked for the name. That's it. They don't need an account. They don't need any credentials. They join. and they automatically get a copy of the board. So let me change the color for the student so that it's much clearer. Right? And then the students, they get a copy of the board that I just created, right? And they can start doing their work on it immediately, right? They can start typing, they can start drawing, but they cannot erase anything the teacher is doing. They cannot see the other kids in the class, but the teacher, they can see the whole class at the same time as they're working through the lesson. So this is the most powerful feature of Whiteboard.chat, where you can see, hey, this kid, how are they progressing through their lesson? You can observe them. What are they doing? What are they not doing properly? Right? You can do really.
Yeah, you could give them feedback right there.
Right. So if they're drawing a bicycle, for example, see there's a magic draw that actually recognizes what you're drawing, and you can convert that. So, and the students, and as a teacher, you can actually join their board as well, right? You can work one-on-one with the student. You can say, hey, pay attention to something here, like for example.
So the teacher can join their board after the students join that. I don't get that. Say that again. So the teacher shares the code with the students, and they get a copy of their own board, right?
Right.
And then now you just said the teacher can join the students' board, like right. You mean one-on-one?
That's right. So the teacher can go one-on-one onto the student's board. They can give them feedback stickers, for example, right? They can say, hey, you're doing really good work, right? And then you can say, this part is amazing, which part you need to work on, and then go back to the front of the class. This is akin to as if you're walking around the classroom, you're watching each kid's notebooks, what they're doing, right? And working one-on-one with them. And then you go back to the top of the class, and then you watch your whole class again.
Now let me ask you this, like, because now I'm thinking like small group work. So can you assign like 2 kids in, to share with a teacher in a group?
Yes. So you can do that. You can create group boards very easily. You can actually assign. There are multiple ways. You can actually pick. Let me add another student to answer your question. So I can add another student from another browser.
Because this would be great for like breakout rooms,
Yep. It's awesome for breakout rooms. You can say, this is, let's say, student 2. Right? And now both the students are in the class. As a teacher, you can pre-assign these groups if you want to, or you can make it dynamic, right? So I can say, I want student 1 and student 2 both to be part of a group. I call it group 1. And now instead of individual boards, what happens is on the student side, they're collaborating. So you can put, I'll show you, we have like spinners, we have dice, you can create games out of Whiteboard.chat, right? There's a plethora of widgets and stuff. So you can see now they're both on the same board, right? The students are both on the same board. But even here, the students cannot erase each other's work. You can only erase your own work. The teacher can observe who wrote what, right? They can see who wrote what at all times, but the students cannot erase each other's work. They can only collaborate with each other really nicely on this group boards. Right?
That's awesome, because that's, like sometimes that happens, and then you have to restore version history or whatever and try to restore whatever they're working on. And I think that just eliminates that whole issue.
And then there is some other awesome stuff. Like, for example, you see the numbers here. This is automatically calculating how the students are engaging with the platform, with the work, right? You can see, hey, this kid is doing well. They're writing more and more stuff. The other kid is not engaging so well. So you can get reports which show you live which students are trending up, which students are trending down, who are actually drawing or not, just sitting back and doing nothing, right?
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And you can enable auto engagement stickers as well. So the students will start getting stickers automatically based on how well they are engaging. They say, oh, if some students are doing well, they will to get they'll get encouragement. If they're not, then they'll get a little push to say, okay, you need to start engaging a little bit more on it. So once you're done with the group activity, you can go back and remove the group. So then all the kids go back to their individual class, individual work, right? And they can continue working with that as well, right? So this is the main thing, main feature of Whiteboard.chat, right? There's a chat aspect to Whiteboard.chat also, which I'll quickly show. There is a many-to-one chat built into the platform, right? But the cool thing about this chat is that, of course, when you're in a group board setting, the kids can chat with each other, but otherwise the kids cannot chat with each other. But the really useful thing here is that the kids can pick the language that they understand, right? For example, if they don't understand English, let's say this kid only understands German, right? Each kid can pick their own language of choice. You can see that there's a sticker that appeared saying, hey, let's go. You're not doing anything on the whiteboard, right? That means, and then if the teacher types something, will automatically convert it to German, right? So,
wow.
So it auto translates to different languages. It's really good for English language learners or people who don't speak the same language or trying to learn a new language.
I had no idea that it did that. I wasn't aware of that. That now is that free? Is that
that's
auto
all
translates free? Okay. Wow.
Right?
That's powerful.
I know. So I think so. All of these things, like basically what happened was teachers were using other platforms and they were finding areas where they were lacking, and they would come to us and say, can you do this on your platform? It will help my English language learners a lot. And we would do it, right? And they would really, really like it, and it would become sticky, and students would get benefits out of it. So that's how the platform really evolved.
I mean, like I love the interface. Like me personally, I don't find it to be overwhelming. I don't find it to be busy. I can find things. I think I can interpret what the icons mean, and I can go there, and I don't find it to be very difficult, but I know there's some things that are hidden that I'm not aware of, like the language I didn't know. And I know you have like those manipulatives and the dice and the timers and, all those stickers. Like I just think that just takes so much out of what the teacher is looking for. If it's right there, it's just easier. It's like, it's built in already. You don't have to go searching for it. So Pawan, before you move on, since I'm talking about the stickers and the dice and all that, where can that all be found? Because I know you have it in these,
Right.
In these menus here.
Right. So basically, think of it like this. There are gizmos which are static things. Like, for example, you want 100 block, you want a 10 block, right? All of these things are in here, right? You want currencies.
In the gizmos.
Right. So in the gizmo section, you can have currencies from around the world, right? You have dollar bills. So anything you can think of, the alphabets, letters, reward stickers, anything you can think of. You can do block coding. We can even write comics with superhero characters. So
wait a minute, was that all in here, or was that new? Now, come on. Because I was going to say, like, I don't remember all of these things here. So because you're just like saying it like, like so like naturally, but I'm like looking at it on my screen and I'm like, I don't remember seeing block code comic. Yeah, when did that all happen?
So we keep updating the tool almost on a weekly basis, right? So I think there's so many teachers who give us so many suggestions and we don't say no, right? So I think that's why it keeps coming out. So it's super interesting to follow the evolution of the product. And you're right, it's more for a little bit of a, if you are willing to invest time in it, you will find a lot of value out of the tool, right? So it's a not.
Yeah, I mean, I like, it's so funny because last year I was more virtual tech support. So I was training the teachers on how to use tools or suggest different things. And Whiteboard Chat was one of the tools. And I actually watched your little video, your tutorial. And then another person that I follow, Richard Byrne, had a video tutorial, and he was going through the manipulatives, the gizmos, I guess, but he was focusing on like the math and the block 10. And I was like, what? I didn't see any of that stuff. So I passed that all along I did another training, and I passed that all along to the teachers like the week later, and they were blown away, like, because it's just, you don't have to install like an add-on or an extension. It's just all built in there, and there's so much in here. It's just crazy. Like I like, definitely you guys got to download this, or not even download it. Go to the Whiteboard.chat, go to the gizmos, check out the menu. I mean, because there's so much in here that is just built in that you don't have to add anything or install anything.
Right.
I like the mind maps. I like the Venn diagram. Like it's just.
And there are hidden gems too. So look at this, right? Now I put the manipulators here. There's this thing called the breakdown tool, right? Which teachers asked us to add. So you can actually break down manipulators. So you can say, hey, 10 block, 100
okay,
block.
So where is that at? So wait, back up. Because
I'm
trying to follow along with you. So wait, where did you get, the math manipulatives, and you put in what, 100 block?
Yeah, okay. I put in anything, right? Like let's say if I put a $10 bill, I want to break that down. I go to the tools menu and say breakdown, right? And then you say, oh, it becomes 2 5s, right? And then I can break down 5s into ones, and then quarters, and then
wow,
nickels.
That is, how awesome is that for kids? Oh my gosh, that I had no idea.
Yeah, so right, so I think there are over 200 different features that we have added onto the platform. It's very hard for us to expose teachers to it because, like you said, right, unless that's why we do webinars. There's a really extensive help built in here, which not many people read, like the navigating the whiteboard, how to use the math editor, right? There's a built-in math editor, what are the top 100 features. So yeah, it takes a little bit time, but we are happy to do as many webinars for schools or individual teachers as you want and learn with you.
So in this help menu, you have a teacher's guide, you have a student guide, you have a math input guide, so teachers can actually create mathematical formulas.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, because who has time to read all this? But there's a lot of information in here. Like, honestly, if you go there, you'll definitely be able to see what it has to offer. I'm completely blown away. Again, like always with this platform, I'm blown away. Just the teacher's guide is a PDF, and it has about 30 pages on how to get started, finding your way around the interface, controlling student activities, adding a co-teacher. Why don't you show us how to add a co-teacher?
Yeah, that's super simple. So let's say I click this guy, and I can just go and say, hey, make this a co-teacher. Now this student who was a student, now they have access to the same grid view and the same tools that.
Okay, so it's that easy. So the teacher has to join the board like a student, and then you just change her permissions to co-teacher.
Or you can pre-send them an invite too. So you can just go to the invite and say, hey, show co-teacher invite, and send this one to your co-teacher, and they'll end up joining as a co-teacher.
Okay. I got you. Okay. All right. Yeah, because I didn't see the co-teacher code there. Like when you're sharing it, you can't see sometimes you can't see the little details. Well, like you could see, So Stella is saying here, we have Stella from Argentina. She says that Whiteboard.chat allows app smashing to cater for multiple intelligences with differentiation, scaffolding, collaboration, feedback, and assessment in progress. It makes learning concrete, visible, and meaningful. And that's definitely accurate. I mean, I totally agree. And how nice would it be to be able to have students like work on this in small groups and then even allow them to explain their work, show what they know, be a leader of their group.
Yeah, you can showcase individual students. You can showcase two students to the rest of the class. So you can you can compare and contrast, and you can do it in an anonymous fashion or with names, right? I'm telling you, anything you can think of that you would want a tool to do, this teachers have actually designed it into this tool. So it's all in there. You can raise your hand. I want a bathroom break. I want to speed up. I want to slow down. I'm done doing my work. There is a time machine built into this platform, right?
Wait, a time machine? What?
So for example, if I want to see, if I again go to the tools, I can turn on the time machine, and I want to see how this kid was progressing through the lesson if they were working asynchronously. So you can go backwards and forwards and see how much time did they spend on doing an activity and take out their work and put it back, right? And you can play it. So it really helps to see how well the kids are understanding their activity. This will, of course, only show the kids' work. The teachers' work will all stay, right?
So, Pawan, since you touched base on the time machine, can you just go back to where you see the analytics of the students' work? Can you showcase that again?
Yeah, so if you hit the three dots menu here on the top, right, and you can say view engagement report.
Okay, I got it.
And then you can see the report. There's another cool way of doing it, so I'll show you that. You can download this report too. So this is super useful, right? So there is if you hit this little arrow here, you can say download student report, right? And it will download in a CSV fashion that you can open in Excel or Google Drive. For each page of the document, you can see, hey, how much time did the kids spend on each page, right? Did they raise their hands? What were their engagement scores? Even the stickers that you awarded to the kid on each of those pages show up here. You can say, hey, I did a good works and an amazing sticker for this guy. And you can use that for assessments, right? You can just put stickers and use that for assessments later on.
Now, does it say it in there what board is associated with that? Like, where is that?
So the page
indicated?
number, right? So the page number and the name. So you should name your boards initially to something else. Right now, I didn't do that. So this is the Kim's class. Right. So now, from now on, this class is called Kim's class, right? And then if I download it, the board, the thing will come out with that same name, right? So it's Kim's class, and then you can, when you open it, you can see it's the name of the board is right there, and each page number will have its associated.
Okay. And it downloads it as a spreadsheet?
Yes, downloads it as spreadsheet. You can, of course, download all the work as PDFs as well. If you wanted to download the whole class, you can download it as a PDF.
I'm like blown away. Like, honestly, I just can't. I can't believe that you incorporated so many good features and tools and productivity right in here. Like, it's just, like I said, I'm a Google girl. I just wrote a book about Jamboard, and Jamboard doesn't even have, come close to any of this stuff. But I just think, people use the tool that they're more familiar with, and they use the tool that they can, use with their students more easily, and they feel comfortable with it, and that I'm not, I think we just lost them. Anyway, we're still going, but I just can't believe all of these features in here. Like I said, it's just crazy. There we are. I was just saying, I can't believe all of the features that are in here. And you know, I mean, Jamboard doesn't even come close to having all of this in here, especially like the analytics part and stuff. But I just think I think it depends on the person. I think it depends on, you know, what their comfort level is or what their purpose for the tool is. To me, I can use this in my class every day, every period, and be able to get what I need from the analytics, to see what the students are doing. Like, it's just got everything all wrapped up in a nice big red bow. Like, I just can't like say enough about it. Like, you know, it's just, you know. And there's another whiteboard tool that people use too. It's called Whiteboard.fi, Fi. And I don't know how to use it, but I'm like, you don't check this one out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pushing for you a little bit, Pawan.
Thank you so much. I think that I don't think we can cover all of the features in this. There's like, we can do video calling, you can do auto corrections with it, you can do call individual students, you can create polls. It's like you can do block coding. I mean, it's just endless what our teachers have designed on the platform. But yeah, thank you so much for. Let me just quickly show you some other things that you can perhaps.
Yeah, go ahead. I want you to you know, to show more. And you know what's nice is like, you know, look, I'm not putting anybody down. Everybody uses what they're familiar with. But, you know, another tool that, you know, like my district uses is Kami. And you know, Kami is an annotation tool for PDF files, but you can do all that in here too. You can upload PDF files in here and annotate in here and collaborate and share. And so, like, I don't know, like, which one do you want to use?
So, like this, you can do matching cards. You can make your own matching cards.
Yeah, like to me, Kami is great, Mel. It is. It really is. But I just think, you know, and Kami has, you know, a lot of different things too. But I think this has, I don't know, it has just a little bit more bells and whistles, in my opinion. You know, and it's so far it's free, right, Pawan?
Yeah, it is. All the features are pretty much free except for the engagement stuff, right? So that one, we are going to charge starting from September 1st on a paid plan.
Okay.
Right? But everything else is free. You can you have money counters where you can put in currency. It'll automatically count. It can count fractions, tiles. It does translation, speech to text with translation, so it can translate to different languages. So there's a xylophone built in. There's a piano built into the platform.
Wait. Go back. Speech to text. Where is that?
So you have to enable speech to text. So basically, if you go to, let's say, in my other whiteboard, the one I was showcasing here. So if I just say, you can see here, you have to say enable speech to text, right, in the settings. Once you have enabled it, and anytime you put a text entry here, it will come up on its own. So you can say English, right? Let me do this. Let me say Hindi, and let me translate this live into English, right? So now whatever I say Mera naam Pawan hai, right? So it not only transcribed what I said, it actually translated it to the language that I picked as well. Right?
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I just, that's awesome.
Right, so,
and you have to enable that in the settings. So that means you have to have an account.
Yes, you have to have an account. So,
okay.
So some of these things you need to have an account for. Otherwise, you don't even need an account. There's Microsoft's Immersive Reader built into the platform as well. So if you want to read PDFs, which Microsoft also doesn't do, you can read PDFs in Immersive Reader, right? Right, and then you can edit the immersive reader text. So yeah, I can keep going on and on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
no,
really,
that was, honestly, like, I'm just blown away right now. And I know, like, we have Mel and Stella, they're chatting too about different tools. And again, like, you have to pick the tool that you feel comfortable with, that is going to really target your goal. And and to get the kids really familiar with it too. You know what I mean? So, sometimes less is best, right?
yeah.
So, if that's the kind of user you are, then you may want to use a different tool. But if you need more analytics, and you need more student engagement reports, or you want to be able to, track that information, Whiteboard.chat would be the tool. Again, I know, I
And
like Cami. I do like Cami, and I use Cami as well. But it's just another tool that you can use to annotate and collaborate on. So, give it a try. Give it a try. I mean, really, I just think it's worth trying. Mel
yeah,
said, yeah, she used it a lot last year.
yes, yes. So I think the tool, you can actually, there's a setting where you can simplify it to baby mode, if you will, right, for the younger kids. So they only see 3 or 4 tools, right? So there is a way to dumb it down quite a bit so that
But
people
the
don't use.
kids don't see the same tool
They don't.
bar, right? No,
They
it's
don't.
just the teacher. So really, for the kids' point of view, it is less, I want to say less. I don't think it's busy at all, but it has less features for them, right?
That's right. Yeah. So kids obviously see less, but you can send it to a very like kindergarten level where they only see an eraser and a pen and a pencil, right? That's it. So they won't see the breakdown tool. They won't see a compass. They won't see like calculators and such. So you can configure it to any which level you want to.
Okay. And then I noticed that you're going to have webinars. Like, can you tell us where people can find out about your webinars?
Yeah, we have free webinars every couple of weeks. So let me share my screen one more time. Yeah, so it's on our website. If you go to whiteboard.chat, right? If you just go to whiteboard.chat, you can see. Hey, where is the webinar link? Maybe it's full, so we took it out. But there is a banner that shows up here that says you can register for webinars. In worst case, if you follow us on social media, on Twitter or Facebook, right, you can find the links here. And you can see information being posted regularly about new features, about webinars, any events that we host.
Okay. Yeah, because when I went to the website, it said you're having a free
Oh,
webinar.
it's right here. It's right here.
It's coming up, I think, right?
August 19th. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are going to talk specifically in this webinar that is coming up. We will talk specifically about only group boards and how to have group activities. You can play games and all of those things, right?
What time is the webinar, Pawan?
It is at 4 p.m. My time, which is Pacific.
So 4 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
And is there a link for people to sign up?
Yeah, it's right here. So if you click that, you can just go to the form. You can just put in your information, your email. That's it.
Can you send me that link?
Sure, I will do that.
Because I can't. I'm not, like, I'm in a board right now. I got to get back to the home page. It's just, there we go. I got it.
And then we actually do teacher-led webinars also. Our wonderful ambassadors, they do webinars in their own languages, in their own subjects. How do they use it in class? There is also, I think, here if you go to manage boards, you can go to community boards here, and you can see other teachers have shared their work for free, right? How they use Whiteboard.chat. So you can see like maybe hundreds of boards in different subjects from different classes around the world. and you can make copies of it and use it for yourself or extend it, right?
Okay. So, all right. Well, I'm going to have to sign up for the webinar because I really think this tool is so powerful, and I every time I go in here, I learn something new, and my mind is like it's blown away. So, do you have other teachers teaching the webinars, or are they more
Yeah.
computer scientists?
No. So we have teacher-led webinars as well. So a lot of, I think you said Mel is on. You're chatting with her, right? She's
Yeah.
one of our ambassadors. She has done a teacher-led webinar on maths before. And yeah, we do maybe once a month. We try and do a teacher-led webinar.
Okay, good. All right. Well, Mel is here, and yeah, she didn't say that she was one of your ambassadors, so good for you, Mel. I'm happy for you. That was a little secret. But yeah, I definitely yeah, I'm just so thankful that you were able to come on and share your little accident with us. I mean, like, you caught my attention with the code block manipulatives, because I'm going to be teaching computer science this year. So I'm definitely going to be using this. I just think it's just everything all wrapped up in one. And that's what I like about it. You don't have to add anything. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to, figure it out. It's all in there.
Right, that's our intention, right? To get, because we saw that kids were getting confused, go from one app to the other app to, right? They would get lost. They would just shut down the computer and go to sleep. Right? Things of that nature. So,
did that happen with your kids?
Yeah, we used to see like they would just put their head down next to the laptop and that's it.
Like they got frustrated.
Yeah, completely. So.
And that's what makes this even nicer, is that you took your own parent experience from your kids and you put it in here too, and you designed it to help them and to help the teachers, and it because it really does, it just has everything you need in there, and it's a gem.
Thank you so much.
Well, that concludes our show for today. I hope everybody tries Whiteboard.chat and connect with Pawan on Twitter at Whiteboard.chat. He will get back to you. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to him on there, or email. He's going to put all his information in the show notes, and the show notes will be posted on my website as well. What I'm going to do really quick is share my screen. So, all right. So if you'd like to visit my website, it's thesweettalk.com. That's the SUITE talk.com. And you will come to the homepage. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, join the Facebook community, listen to the Sweet Talk on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and subscribe to my newsletter. The latest episode will be here, and as well as the podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can fill out the guest inquiry form and help me pay it forward and help other educators. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. I am scheduling now for late fall. If you'd like to become a sponsor for my show, you can also fill out this form as well. I'm so thankful to have on my sponsor list Screencastify, Slides Mania, Moats, where am I going? I lost my train of thought. Yes, and now I just got StreamYard as well, so I have to update my list there. And Teaching with Google Jamboard is the book that Alice Keeler and I wrote together. We give you 90 plus ideas on how to use it in the classroom, plus over 150 templates. So check that out. It's available on Amazon. And Cami Cami is one of my sponsors as well. So you can help me pay it forward. If you want to listen to any past episodes, you can click on the episode page and you can find all of the links to the YouTube shows and the show notes here as well. Alrighty, let me get back here. All right, and that's that. So that concludes our show for tonight. I really want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everybody's comments and chatting with everyone. And you, Pawan, for taking the time to be on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me, Kim, again. I hope other people find use in it.
Oh, well, definitely they will. Definitely. Stay in touch and don't hang up. And
sure.
All right, everyone. That concludes our show for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.